Test, 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 test.
Sometimes I think because you're so tall and you have good posture, it's hard for me to do this.
Good morning. Welcome to this morning's Dharma School service. It is the last service, Dharma School service of this year. I hope you've had at least an interesting experience with Dharma School being conducted remotely. But this is our last service, and hopefully as you meet for the last time in your classes, you'll have an opportunity to, let everybody know what you're doing during the summer, and maybe keep in touch with your classmates and your teacher. We'll begin this morning's service with a reading of Sambujo, followed by Juseige. Namanda, 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 namanda. Namanda, 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 namanda. Again, good morning to this morning's Dharma School service. We have as our guest speaker this morning Dennis Akizuki. So Dennis, if you would, please.
Good morning, everyone. Let's start off by reading the Golden Chain. So please join me in Gassho. I am a link in Amita's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I will keep my link bright and strong. I will be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will think pure and beautiful thoughts, say pure and beautiful words, and do pure and beautiful deeds. May every link in Amita's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. So again, good morning, everyone. We just read the Golden Chain, but please join me in Gassho again in reciting the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Welcome to everyone who's joined us for this service, either if you're watching live or you watch it on YouTube later. If you're watching us for the first time or are a relative newcomer, introduce yourself in the chat section, which you will find to the right of the screen. Let us know if you'd like to learn more about Jodo Shinshu, which is our type of Buddhism. As Rinban said, this is the last Dharma School service for the 2020-2021 school year. Getting through the school year was a bigger accomplishment this year. We all had to deal with COVID, but you made it. We all made it. I want to add my congratulations to our graduating seniors. We honored them last week at our baccalaureate service. Some of them I've watched grow up here at the temple, and very gratified to see them become mature and responsible young adults. So graduates, remember, the temple will always be your home, so come back to visit. Often, I hope. So as I said, we all made it. So we have a lot. This is a dramatic pause now. A lot to be grateful for. I'm sure each of you could make a list of things you're grateful for. Your teachers, doctors, nurses, delivery people, parents, other relatives, friends, but not just people. Grateful for TV programs, video games, clothes, sports teams, something kind someone said to you. You're grateful for getting a present on your birthday or for some help with homework from a friend. You're grateful when someone opens a door for you, or when you're playing basketball, a teammate passes you the ball and you score a basket. We talk a lot about gratitude here at the temple, and some of you may wonder why. When I try to answer religious questions such as this one, I do what a lot of people do. I do a Google search. It helps me find an answer and, more importantly, understand the answer. I found the following explanation on the website of the Jikoen Hongaji in Honolulu. That temple belongs to our sect of Buddhism. An article on the temple's website has a very simple, easy to understand explanation about why gratitude is important to us. Quote, gratitude is the heart, essence, and practice of Jodoshin Buddhism. I'll repeat that. Gratitude is the heart, essence, and practice of Jodoshin Buddhism. The article goes on to add to that explanation. When we're grateful, the article says, quote, we cannot be stressed, frustrated, discouraged, and unhappy. We become predisposed to acts of kindness. The moment of gratitude might last only for a few seconds, but negative thoughts and feelings cannot enter our minds, body, and spirit, unquote. So what the article is saying is, at the moment, the very moment we express gratitude, we can't at the same time be experiencing anger, greed, ignorance, all those kind of bad things. So I thought about that, and I think it makes sense, doesn't it? If you're truly grateful, the negative feelings and thoughts can't enter your mind at that moment when you're expressing gratitude. If that is true, then it also makes sense that the more we express or show our gratitude, the more moments we will have where we will feel happiness and harmony rather than bad and angry thoughts. That article goes on to say, gratitude is the door to acts of kindness. A door to acts of kindness. So the act of being grateful opens the door for you to respond by doing something good on your own. My Google search also found an article in the November 1st, 2019 issue of a Buddhist magazine. That magazine is Lion's Roar, like roaring lion, Lion's Roar. Jeff Wilson, an ordained Jodo Shinshu minister and professor, wrote about his view of gratitude. Quote, as a Shin Buddhist, my main practice isn't meditation, sutra study, ritual, or precepts. All those things can be valuable, of course, but in Shin Buddhism, our main focus is the practice of gratitude. This sets us apart from many other Buddhists. We don't practice anything not to achieve enlightenment, good karma, a favorable rebirth, or material things. We practice simply to give thanks for what we have received. It's a small shift in one's perspective, but when pursued, it can be transformative. Reverend Dr. Kenji Akahoshi of the San Diego Buddhist Temple, in an article in another Buddhist magazine. This magazine is Tricycle, like tricycle with three wheels, also talks about the change in the way you look at things. Reverend Akahoshi, who many of you knew grew up in this temple, says we should shift our focus from an emphasis on please, asking for something, to thank you, expressing our gratitude for everything we already have. That shift can, I think, lead to a happier life. How do we show our gratitude? Of course, we say thank you. We might show our gratitude for something someone has done for us by doing something for that person, or doing something for perhaps another person. We express our gratitude in other ways. So when that teammate passes you the ball and you score, what might you do? You might point at that teammate. I know some people say pointing is not polite, but in basketball, believe me, if you point at your teammate after something good happens, especially after the teammate passes you the ball and you score, you're thanking your teammate. You're saying, it's because of you that I scored. So why don't you think about other ways you express your gratitude? Think about that, talk to your parents, and have a discussion about that. Of course, here's a temple and other Shin Buddhist temples. We have another way of expressing our gratitude. We say, Namo Amida Butsu. We are giving thanks to Amida Buddha. Amida Buddha, this force in our lives that surrounds us. I mean, it's really everywhere in the temple and the way we look at things. You might know the song Ondoku-san. Ondoku-san is sung at Shin Buddhist temples everywhere. A very popular song, very meaningful song. And if you look at the words, it's actually an expression of gratitude to Amida Buddha's compassion for everyone, and gratitude to the teachers of the Dharma, people who teach us. Reverend Akahoshi also wrote that, quote, Shinran tells us by reciting the Nembutsu, we realize, though still beneath the clouds of ignorance, greed, and hatred, the joy of life. Reciting Amida's name is like an alarm clock that says, wake up to the joy of being alive each and every day. Awakening to this rare gift of life, we can accept and endure the wide spectrum of human grief and bliss and become a source of happiness for others. So by reciting the Nembutsu, we're expressing our gratitude. And by doing that, we can realize the joy in life. So that's pretty cool if you ask me. Expressing our gratitude, we can realize the joy in life. I said before in another Dharma talk that I gave last year that reciting the Nembutsu is something we shouldn't just do during a service. We should recite the Nembutsu, say Namo Amida Butsu in our daily lives to express our gratitude for all the good things that happen. Not just to us, but good things that happen to our family members, coworkers, friends, even people we don't know. You don't have to say it 3 times. You don't have to say it with your ojuzu and your hands held together in Gassho. You don't have to say it out loud. Say it to yourself. but just try saying it. Get into the practice saying it. And I think, you can express your gratitude, and you could feel maybe that joy that comes with being grateful. Let's not shy away from saying the Nembutsu when we're away from the temple. Let's express our gratitude and open that door to acts of kindness. We can certainly use more of that today. Please join me in Gassho and reciting the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you very much. Have a great summer, everybody. Hope to see you soon in person. And again, thank you for listening.
Thank you, Dennis, for that wonderful Dharma message. Something that, hopefully I will carry with us through the summer and carry us through our lives. Again, thank you for your Dharma message this morning. Today, we have a guest in our Hondo. I shouldn't call him a guest because he's really not a guest. He's our superintendent of Dharma School, but it is the first person to attend our Dharma School service since the pandemic started. So I'd like to invite Steve Sorokubo to the mic.
Hi, folks. Once again, I'd like to thank everyone on behalf of the Betsuin for sticking with us through this pandemic. It's been much longer than myself or probably everyone here in the temple would have anticipated being here. And so with this last Dharma School service, I'd like to thank many people here, the teachers, the ministers, the Dharma School kids, as well as their parents for this difficult time having to go through remote learning, remote services, and really being cooped up at home all of this time. So we are anticipating, or we will start Dharma School again on September 12th, 2021. And at this moment, we can't guarantee that it'll be in person or whether it'll be remotely. We'll let you know in a few months which way we're going to be going. It'll obviously depend on how the situation is going here in the Santa Clara Valley. If there's a spike or if there's many concerns about spreading the virus around, we will err on the side of caution and probably go remote, but we'll let you know. So to thank the teaching staff, I'd like to list their names very briefly. And students, if you have a chance, please give them your thanks during classes. For preschool, our teaching staff, Lisa Kobayashi, Nancy Aochi, Liza Kao, Wendy Ching, and Kalina Sorakubo. Kindergarten, we have Erika Tsukimura, Arlene Mori, Hitomi Kono. First grade, we have Alan Kondo, Julie Sayoshi, and Allison Aochi. Second grade, and second and third grade combo, that is, we have Linda Ichinaga, Kimiko Rodriguez, and Aiden Anisete. Fourth grade, we have Kathy Pike and Jori Furukawa. Sorry. Fifth grade, we have Donna Bussey and Patty Canetta. Sixth grade, we have Mr. Brian Tamakuni, Marissa Shoji, and Hallie Chang. Seventh and eighth grade combo, we have Ed Notahara, Apala Egan, and Jennifer Mizota, and Jennifer Takao. And for our high school combo class, we have Mas Nishimura and Adarin Clark. Once again, I'd like to thank the teachers and aides, students, parents. Thanks for sticking with us. Hopefully we'll see you in person in September 12th, after Labor Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve, and thank you for joining us in person this morning. Just a couple other announcements. Again, a reminder of Obon at home. This year will be again Obon virtually. That Sunday, July the 10th, will be our kind of virtual Obon again, Obon at home. Moichido. So please plan to join us for that. And also like to remind everyone that from about 11 o'clock this morning, we'll have another conversation about the experiences of Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders in this very difficult time, the violence that has been directed toward that community, our community, and how we as Buddhists might respond. So please join us after the 10:10 service. Hopefully we'll be able to get started. If not around 11, a little after 11. Thank you very much to the teachers, to the students, of course, and parents who have supported this Dharma school through this very challenging time. And also like to thank the minister assistants, Michael Jones, Dennis Akizuki, Sumiye Tanabe, who have throughout not just this pandemic, but in times previously have assisted in the services, Sunday morning services. And they will continue to provide insightful, meaningful, and happy, fun Dharma messages in the weeks to come. And so I want to thank Sumi, Michael, Dennis, especially for their help. And of course, we would not be able to function without Mikeme Sensei as a part of our team here at the Betsuin. Take care, everyone. Have a great summer. We'll see you virtually or maybe in person. We'll decide come August. But please have a safe summer. We'll see you in the fall. Thank you, everybody. Oh, I got a special message from Mas Nishimura. I forgot to, I had mentioned, I had it on my notes that, and thank you, Mas, for reminding me. The Federation, our Dharma School, National Dharma School Teachers Association, recognizes every year teachers who have made extraordinary contributions to our Dharma schools. And this year, Linda Ichinaga was recognized for 25 years of service as a Dharma school teacher. And Nancy Aochi was recognized for 10 years of Dharma school service. So we want to especially thank Linda and Nancy for their dedication, not only to conduct these classes, but for your commitment to the teachings and sharing the teachings with your students. So thank you very much, Linda Ichinaga, for your 25 years of service, and Natsu Aochi for 10 years of service. Thank you very much, everyone, and thank you, Mas, for reminding me. Please, again, have a safe summer, and hopefully we'll see you at 11 o'clock for our conversation about Asian American Pacific Islanders' experiences in this pandemic and our Buddhist response to the violence that has been experienced. Thank you, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to this morning's service. Running a little late, but thank you for your patience. We'll get started with the reading of Sambujo, followed by Sanbutsuge. So if you please join us in the reading of Sanbutsuge. Namanda, 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 nam. Namanda, Namanda, Namandas, Namanda, 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 Namandas. Again, good morning. Welcome to this morning's service. We're fortunate again to have as our speaker this morning Sumiye Tanabe. Sumiye is one of three ministerial assistants that have been giving Dharma messages for us, sharing their appreciation of the Nembutsu for a long time now, and it has been a help to us, but it's also been an opportunity to hear their appreciation of the Nembutsu. And so I want to thank Sumiye for sharing the Nembutsu, sharing your understanding and appreciation of the Dharma. So with that, onegai shimasu.
Thank you very much, Rinban. Good morning, everybody. It's been a while since I've been in front of you, and so I'm hoping that you are all doing well. There's reason to be optimistic because more and more people are getting vaccinated. And so we may see the end of this pandemic. Please join me in Gassho. How sad it is that many people are only satisfied with the twisted shape so much like bonsai. I would rather reflect on the straight form of a tree that has grown in freedom, embracing the attributes it was endowed with by nature. By Lady Kujo. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 Last year, when the pandemic was raging on and on, I spent quite a bit of time on Netflix watching movies that I missed or wanted to see. I noted that many of the movies were made in India. I checked on a movie that said it was a historical epic. The movie was about a young man who wandered around in India posing as a peasant. In reality, he was a prince. Having older brothers, he knew he would never be king. In his wanderings, he meets and falls in love with a young girl who has a little brother. There are actually a princess and crown prince in disguise. The princess does not know that the young fellow is a prince also in disguise. The two marry, but the young man receives an urgent message that he must go home. At the time, he didn't know that his father had died and he was going to be the new king. Years go by, and the young king is battling one war, one clan after another, and winning. He is pressured into marriage to a Buddhist woman. By this time, I'm beginning to understand this is a romanticized story of King Asoka. I remembered his story as someone who spread Buddhism throughout India, but little else. I remember at one time when I was young, the Buddhists in the Fresno area were very happy because there was going to be a new hospital called Asoka Hospital. I don't even know if it even exists. Back to the movie. Asoka has amassed thousands of warriors, and only one remained for him to capture. It was the home of that disguised princess and the crown prince. The war was very, very brutal, and the princess meets Asoka among all the dead bodies. He is absolutely stunned at what he has done. Now to the real story of King Asoka, which I pulled from the internet. Asoka had several older half-brothers from his father's other wives. He was given military training. He becomes king or emperor and rules almost all of India's subcontinent from 268 to 232 BC. He staged a war against the state of Kalinga, which he conquered in 260 BC. He converted to Buddhism after he witnessed the mass deaths of the Kalinga War, in which 100,000 people died. 150,000 were deported. Asoka's patronage of Buddhism has given it more respect, and Buddhism spread. More people became vegetarians, and there was an increase in compassion towards others. Asoka encouraged tolerance towards other religions like Hinduism. The edicts of Asoka were a collection of 33 inscriptions on the pillars of Asoka boulders and caves made by Asoka. They are in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, and Afghanistan. The edicts are mainly concerned with the reforms he instituted and the moral principles he recommended to create a just and humane society. The edicts describe in detail Asoka's views about the Dharma, an attempt to solve some of the problems of a complex society. He taught his people to have compassion and concern for animals and abstain from harming them. He said the greatest compassion is for the non-injury of life and abstaining from killing all living beings. Asoka believed the Dharma to be the energetic practice of honesty, truthfulness, compassion, mercifulness, benevolence, nonviolence, and considerate behavior towards all. The 5 major accomplishments of Asoka were: 1, the founding of hospitals; 2, rule over Central and South Asia; 3, spread of Buddhism; 4, example of ideal administration; and 5, period of glory. Buddhism became prominent in merchant communities and spread throughout through commercial connections and along trade routes in the Silk Route into Central Asia. As many of you remember, in March 2001, 2 giant statues of Buddha were blown up and destroyed by the Taliban on the orders from leader Mullah Muhammad Omar after the Taliban government declared they were idols. The destruction began with the Taliban firing anti-aircraft guns and artillery. The statues were very difficult to destroy. They had to lower men down the face of the cliff so that they could plant dynamite into holes in the statues. The destruction of the statues revealed 50 caves, and the caves contain a number of important discoveries, including the world's oldest oil paintings. The caves were homes for the monks. Another discovery was a translation of the original Sanskrit Sutra, the basic belief of Buddhism. Who were against the destruction? India, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, and United Arab Emirates. Japan offers several solutions to save the statues, including covering them from view, paying the Afghan government money, and moving the statues to Japan. But of course, that didn't happen. Before the Banyan statues were destroyed, they were the largest standing Buddhist carvings in the world. One was 115 feet tall, and the other one was 174 feet. After the destructions of the statues, they were included in the UNESCO World Heritage List. Now, after 20 years of Afghanistan, our United States troops are now coming home. In India, Buddhism lost influence in the 7th century and declined around the 13th century, even though it left a significant impact on local religious traditions. In the 2011 census, Buddhists made up 0.7% of India's population, around 8.4 million people. Our Betsuin choir is learning a new song for the choir festival, and it is Asokan Farewell. The word Asokan is thought to be a Native American word for place of good fishing. It is also an adjective from King Asoka's name, which means without suffering. There is a remote possibility that when the Dutch created the trade companies in colonial New York, perhaps inadvertently, they brought the familiarity of King Asoka's name. Lady Takeko Kujo established the Asoka Hospital in 1930, founded by the royalties of her book Muyuge. Muyuge is an essay collection of the Asoka flowers. Please join me and Gassho. Saigyo was a person who, when he saw anger in someone's heart, would shed tears over the anger in his own heart. He constantly practiced self-examination and inspired kind feelings in whomever he met. By Lady Kujo. Namo Amidabus. Namo Amidabus. Namo Amidabus. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you, Sumi. Really appreciate the perspectives, the world perspectives that you bring into our appreciation of the Dharma. Yeah, when the Bamiyan statues were destroyed, it was such a shock to the Buddhist world, but also to the world as a whole. This is recognized as a very important part of our history, not just as Buddhists, but our shared humanity. It's been 20 years, and we have learned from those, hopefully, we've learned from those experiences. Thank you very much for sharing with us. And I'll go look up on Netflix for that Ashoka story. We don't hear very much about Ashoka, but Ashoka's, the Mauryan Empire was very large. It controlled a large area of Asia, comparable to Alexander the Great, which we hear about, but and the influence that Ashoka had, the Buddhist influence that he had in that time was quite remarkable. Again, thank you, Sumi, for sharing that with us this morning. I want to thank everyone for your participation throughout this past year, time of pandemic. Certainly everybody had to make changes. Everyone had to make adjustments to what we would consider normal. Now it's beginning to look like we may be on the verge of being able to return to some of the things that we were so familiar with before the pandemic. But it's not yet, so please be careful. Please observe the protocols and restrictions that are in place to protect all of us from this disease. The Betsuin continues to be one tier behind the Santa Clara County tier, which is currently yellow. We are still at orange. But when the announcement for the opening up of California on June the 15th occurs, we'll wait a few weeks to see what happens if there is an increase in the incidence of the virus, or if things begin to truly decline. If that's the case, then probably in late July, early August, we'll make a decision as to whether we will open up the temple for our Sunday morning services. Steve Sookubo, who is our Dharma School superintendent, spoke at our Dharma School, our last Dharma School service. Steve agreed to come and speak to our Dharma School students from the Hondo, and he mentioned too how it would be good if we would be able to come together in person again in the fall. Beginning next week, services will be from 10 o'clock. The 10 o'clock family service will continue throughout the summer. We have our Obon at home Moichido on July the 11th. Please take a look at our website for more information. One of the things that was kind of nice, well, not kind of nice, which was really nice, was that two of our Dharma School teachers were recognized by the Federation Dharma School Teachers League, which recognized Linda Ichinanga for 25 years of service as a Dharma School teacher, and Nancy Aochi was recognized for 10 years of Dharma School service. We congratulate both Linda and Nancy for that recognition, but thank them for their many years of sharing their appreciation of the Dharma with their students. And of course, the Betsuin congratulates and hopes that you will be able to continue to share the Dharma certainly with our students, but with everyone that you meet, be able to share that appreciation of the Nembutsu. Again, thank you very much, everyone. Today, we're going to have, once again, a conversation about the violence that has been experienced by the Asian American Pacific Islanders community and our response as Buddhists. Matt Ogawa has organized, once again, this conversation that will take place around 11 o'clock, hopefully pretty close to that time. So please join us for that. You can simply stay on this Zoom, this YouTube channel, and we'll continue with that conversation once everything is organized and in place. Again, thank you very much for continuing to be a part of our Sunday morning services. Thank you very much for your support of what we do here at the Betsuin. To our minister assistants, Sumi Tanabe, Dennis Akizuki, Michael Jones, who have shared their appreciation of the Nembutsu so many times since they agreed to become minister assistants, and they have indeed been assistant to our work here at the Betsuin. It has been really important that they shared their appreciation, or continue to share their appreciation of the Nembutsu. And it's always wonderful to hear different approaches to that appreciation. And so I want to thank Dennis and Michael and Sumi for sharing the Dharma with us. We'll continue to ask them to do that, so we'll look forward to hearing from them in the future. And of course, Mikeme Sensei, who has lived most of her life here in San Jose in lockdown. Mikeme Sensei arrived in 2019 in August, and by March of the next year, we were in the midst of a pandemic and were in quarantine, and have been in quarantine ever since. So she will go through 2 virtual obons, not really see the scope and scale of a regular obon festival here at the Betsuin. There are so many things that we do in person that we have been unable to do during this pandemic. Even to have her family visit us here in San Jose, of course not possible because of the pandemic. But we look forward to when we are able to open up again. to be able to step out into the streets and be able to share the importance of family and community and being in the presence of one another. Till then, please take care. Please observe the protocols that are still in place. Thank you very much for your support throughout these very challenging times. Again, please join us for that 11 o'clock conversation with Matt Ogawa and his guests in a conversation regarding Asian Americans, Pacific Islanders, and how we might respond as Buddhists. As we close, will you please join in Gassho and Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida. Thank you very much, everyone.